Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We got a pretty fun session here that we're going to go over.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Success! It's alive! It's alive, alive, alive. And it was alive, too.
Wasn't really long. We played for about 3 hours in total, but we sat down right away on the edge seat like we like, and look across the table. We see a big chip stack, a lot of $100 chips, a lot of $5 chips, and a very messy chip stack. This is great, $500 buy-in. This could be a very good 1-3 table. Our second hand at the table, we look down at 9-10 of clubs, gets raised to $15 to the player in our right, and you know what? We just go ahead and make the call. And it gets around the player in seat 2. We'll call him the Maniac because he raises from $15 to $115. First hand I see him play at the table, only my second hand at the table. Player to my right goes all in for $189. So I'm making sure that's all he has, because if I just call here, the Maniac can't re-raise. Maybe we can see a flop. Probably not the best idea, not the best plan. Should probably just be folding for, another 175 more, 170 more, whatever it was. With just a 9-10 suited. But you know what? We just thought, hey, let's just get in. Let's get aggressive at this table, because that's probably what it's going to take against this player with this chip stack. So we make the call. Maniac makes the call. Flop comes out all hearts. I check. Maniac bets about 300. And we just go ahead and fold. So right away, we get an add-on for 200 right out the gate. Get a chance to play a couple small hands, pocket nines. We take that one down. Get involved with the Queen 10. Our Maniac friend raises up to $25 pre-flop from 3. Myself and the same player from the last hand make the call. Flop comes out Queen high with a club. Maniac, who bets at $120. Other player goes all in. What are we beating here? We're just top pair. Just gonna let it go and play the next one. So next hand we look down, and we're in the cutoff. We look down at 8-4 of clubs. We got a couple limpers to us, and you know what? We're just gonna limp along here. The Maniac is not in the hand. He actually was up from the table, and as you can see, he comes back to the table with racks in his hand. Oh no! I got to the table too late, and he's racking up. He's getting ready to leave. So anyway, we're gonna play this 8-4 hand. The button makes the call, so does the small blind. The big blind decides to raise it to $15. Both limpers make the call, I make the call, button makes the call, small blind makes the call. I tell you, if there's about 5 more people at this table, they too would have called. So we're going to the flop, which comes out pretty decent actually. And with all 6 players, the action actually checks around on this flop. We have bottom pair and a club draw. Good for us, we get to see a free turn. Turn card brings another jack. The big blind bets out $20. Folds over to me, and for as much as we have in the middle, a $20 bet with a club draw and a pair, we're gonna float. Everybody else folds. Lo and behold, the river comes a beautiful 3 of clubs. Big blind bets out $45. He very well could have clubs as well, so we're just gonna make the $45 call, and it turns out he just has ace jack. Unfortunate river for him. Bet sizing was a little small there. We take it down, and we're off and rolling here. Okay, and then action picks up 1 to the gun +1 in this next hand, and we look down at 2 red queens. We raise it up to $10. It folds over to Chips McGee on the other end of the table, who says raise and throws out 3 red chips for $15. He doesn't realize I've already raised the action. He says, how much? You can see I decided to spread the bet out for him so he can see that I bet $10. Dealer tells him he has to make it 17. $7 more than my raise was over the big blind. So he puts out 40. The dealer says no, he can only put out 17. He's a little confused as to why he can only put out 17 because he wants to raise, but he's already put the chips out there. He put out the 3, so all he can do is raise to 17. And I gotta tell you, I'm happier than a camel on hump day. This is good news, because no when it comes back to me, I'm not just calling $7. Folds over to the big blind, who makes the call for 17. So we're definitely gonna raise this pot up. We're not going 3 ways to a flop if we can help it. So I go ahead and 4-bet to $110. Goes back to our friend on the other end of the table. He re-raises to $317. Big blind gets out of the way. Back to me. You know, it's not too often in a 1-3 game you get an opportunity to 6-bet, but that's what we did. We 6-bet all in for a total of $615. He quickly makes the call. We're up to see a king high flop, king deuce 9. Board finishes out with a 5 and a 10. There's 3 clubs on board, 3 to a straight draw, but we have the queens for blockers. We're not too worried about that. Just really hoping that we didn't get unlucky and that he's holding the king here. I turn over my queens on the table. He stands up, takes a look. He flashes a face card. Oh, I can't tell if it was a queen or a jack, and he mucks his hand, and we take down a pretty nice pot, doubling up there. While he was racking up his chips, he decided not to get up and leave just yet. We're happy about that. That brings us to our very next hand. Now we're under the gun, and first to act, guess what, folks? We looked at a pocket jacks, so the run good is with us tonight. So of course we're gonna raise up, and you know, again, we just make it a $10 raise. It gets over to depleting chip stack at the other end of the table, and he just calls. Wait, what? What? He just calls. He just called. The button does us a favor, raises up to $75. Now, I haven't got to see him play any hands as of yet, so, you know, pretty strong move, especially when he knows that the cutoff is in the hand, and he could easily re-raise here. Comes back to us, we just make the call, and surprisingly, the cutoff just smooth calls as well. We're off to a flop with 225 in the middle. It comes out with 2 kings and 2 hearts. Don't mind seeing 2 kings, makes it a lot less likely one of the opponents has one. Possibly could be up against aces or queens here, you know, so we'll proceed with caution. We just go ahead and check. Cutoff quickly puts $100 out there. The button makes the fold. Back to us. Again, I'm not putting him on credit for any kind of king, especially when he didn't raise me pre-flop. If he had a king, queen, ace, king, king, jack, king 10, I think he's raising over my $10 bet. Heart, possibly. We make the call. Turn is a 4 of hearts, putting 3 hearts on board. We go ahead and check. Actually, we don't check. He bets $400 pretty quickly on this flop, and the dealer says, no, it's his turn to act. I said, oh, I checked, and he goes, yeah, he checked already. I had not checked already, but once he's put out $400, I'm going to go ahead and let him put it out there. So I do have to consider this for a moment, and just because, you know, it's possible he could have a hand once in a while, right? So I look back at my hand, and do I have a jack of hearts? Yeah, there it is, jack of hearts. Okay, well, got a blocker. My feeling is he just has complete air here. And yeah, I mean, he's no Mike McDermott. He can be beat by just jacks. You know what? We're gonna make the call. I think my jacks are probably good here. We make the call. The river, ace of hearts. We have the second nut flush now. If he has the queen of hearts, so be it. Again, he acts out of turn, says all in, I call, flip over my hand. We go ahead and make a quick call there with the second nut flush. As soon as I said I call, he mucked his hand. So while I improved to a flush on the river, pretty certain my jacks were good there, as suspected when we made the call on the turn. We had 658 left in our stack when we make the all-in call. Started the hand with a little over 1,230, so we double up again, 2 hands in a row. Sometimes it just goes that way. Everyone else at the table is looking at me like, man, you just sat down. We've been losing to this guy. He has all our chips, and you just easily, you know, take them away. And sometimes, you know, it just pays to be a luck box. What can I say? You know, sit down, you get hands. Yeah. So the very next hand, we're on the big blind. Middle position has raised it up to $15. Dazed and confused on the other end is made the call. We look down at pocket twos. We're going to call $15. Well, I guess $12 call. We're already in for 3. We're going to see a flop here with our pocket twos. So within the next 3 hands, our maniac on the other end, even though he had racked up his chips, he pulled his best David Copperfield and made all his chips disappear. And so, you know, he stood up, he said, hey, good night, y'all. He smiled, and it looked like he genuinely had a really good time. And we do even get a little card dead, but no, I'm not complaining. Believe me, I am not complaining after the run I had there for a while. We were folding, and we folded this one, and this one was no good to play. But we do end up winning a bunch of small pots. Another 9.
9 is good.
Yes, we get our 9-8 of diamonds 3 different times. We actually flop trips on one of them, take that pot down. We hit our 8 on another one. We win a small pot there. And the other one we fold on the flop. So, but yeah, the 8-9 of diamonds did us pretty well there. Basically, we were just, you know what, keep dragging the small ones. Keep adding to the chip stack. As you can see, the chip stack looking good. All right, so we haven't played a hand in a little while. And we're under the gun. We looked at a Jack 7 of spades. And you know what? This falls squarely in my boredom range chart. We're going to play this, obviously. So we raise it up to $10. Under the gun +1 makes the call. And the big blind comes along as well. Flop comes out 7-5 deuce rainbow. Checks to me, we go ahead and bet out $20. We've hit top pair. Folds over to the big blind, who min raises. Makes it $40. We're not going anywhere. We got top pair. We're going to make the call. Turn is a queen. It goes check, check. Figure I'm not gonna overinflate this pot. He's already raised me on the flop, so he's willing to check. I'm willing to check and get to another card. River is a 7.
Jackpot.
We've hit our trips, and he's betting out this time. He's leading the action. He put 70 out there. It's very possible he could be doing this with a better 7, the ace-7. I mean, honestly, the ace-7 is the only one I could really put him on, ace-7 suited. There's only one combo of that left. I'm not really sure if I raise here, but I don't think I'm getting called by anything that I'm beating. So I just make the call. He turns over pocket 6s. So this is the last hand of the night. We've already gotten our chip racks, getting ready to rack up. I think the game's about to break. And yeah, we take that one down. So all in all, very good night. Great night. In for 700, out for 28.56. All right, well, that was quite a session. Really a fun one tonight. We got sat right down and had a good seat for recording, and just straight across from a maniac tonight. And, you know, ran right into it with him. Pocket queens, pocket jacks, back-to-back hands, doubled up and doubled up again. Doesn't happen too often. And then right after that, the pocket deuces, flopping a set. So what a really fun night. The table was great. Really, some really great people. Like, subscribe, as we always say. And tell you what, folks, we'll see you at the tables.